Hey everyone, as you guys all know, the new Chaotic Compliance Pack have been released, and we're looking here, and it looks like we're getting double gems right away. 500 for the box, and since the game got released in Korea, they also gave us another 200. So we're gonna try to open around 30 packs right now, and we'll see how it goes. So let's look at the new pack. I can tell you right now, this pack is going to be really great for fusion monsters and pretty much Gemini cards, pretty much. So we're going to look here and see what we got. And I'll probably do a more in-depth review of like the top cards in this pack. But from what I can tell right now, as you can tell, Blackluster Soldiers here and Magic Drain as well. So pretty cool cards. 7 Tools of the Bandit, maybe not the most exciting card, but it's going to be very interesting. But I think Magic Drain itself has a lot of potential. There's definitely a Master of Oz is going to be one of the most interesting fusion cards to come out, because it's at 4,200 attack. This is the highest 2 monster fusion right now attack. The highest obviously is Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, which is 4,500, but this one is only using 2 monsters, so that makes this card a lot more efficient, and it's probably going to be used a lot in fusion decks from now on. I mean, in farming decks. So looking through these cards, there's just a lot of different cards, and I know some of them Fusion Sage. Like I said, there's a lot of support for fusion cards. And Symbol of Duty. This is like a Monster Reborn, sort of, but it's like a Call of the Haunted. It's another card that was released in the regular. But basically you get to summon by sending one of your normal monsters. And I think it's going to be really good, but it does require a lot of cost. But I think a lot of people are just excited about this pack, so I'll keep talking about it as we open packs. So we're going to go ahead straight for it. We're going to open 10 packs right here. So let's just get this party started, like they say. Alright. Nothing on the first pack, but we're going to go through this. Interesting. That's going to be helpful for Trap decks. Machine King. It's a special summon effect monster machine. This card. Interesting card. I see it being pretty good. Excavated top 2 cards, add one of them for... So this has a lot of usability. It's a spellcaster and it's water, so it could have some synergy, but I don't know. I think Crystal Seer is going to be very interesting just because it lets you look at the 2 top cards, meaning you basically get to draw and choosing out of 2, which is really good. I could see it actually being pretty useful. And right away we got one of our more rare cards coming out. Hopefully it's a secret rare. Dragon Roar. This has a big requirement: Earth, Water, and Fire, and Wind. Maybe some deck will be able to use this effectively, but that's going to be pretty tough. Return, Foolish Return, pretty good. Man, it's only a regular rare. It made it look a lot cooler. But Manju Karset is going to be really good for farm decks because you get to tribute 2 monsters, and you get to, it gains the attack of both of them, so I could see it being used in farm decks, which is really good that we got it right now. Weapon. Interesting. And like I said, there's a lot of different cards here. You can tribute this and select the card. 1500 attack. This card can be used for ritual summon. Alrighty. So we're going to open a few more. This has the potential of being something okay. And Gift of the Martyr. This is actually what people are saying will be the replacement for Union Attack. As you could see, you could send one monster on your side of the field to the graveyard, and then select another monster on the field, and that monster gains the attack equal to the attack of the monster sent. So honestly, this card's almost better than Union Attack, so this card's really good to get, and it's a normal card. So for farm decks, this card with, let's say, a Piranha and Kukulin, this is going to be really amazing, a really amazing combo that's going to happen, so definitely look for that. An equip card or a It's inflicts 500, so a lot of different types of cards. Controls a monster and controls you can special summon one level 4. So this is what I'm talking about. There's more cards that are gonna help out Gemini. So let's look for the more interesting card. It's a Fiend card and really good for Dark Necrofear right now, which got released. Banish any number of dark monsters until the end of this turn. So pretty good, I feel. It could definitely have synergy, but it does remove a lot of stuff from your graveyard, which will be very interesting on how it does. So yeah, we'll see. You can only equip this card to a monster on your side of the field, decrease the attack and defense of a monster by 500. Interesting. And another Crystal Darkseer. So, and this one's glossy, so we got it going. Those Karibos, I feel like they always are there, but they never really help out. Pay 800 life points and target one of the banners, like add the target to your hand. So, I feel like a lot of these cards are talking about like affecting the graveyard, so we'll see how the meta changes. We got a new ritual card. It's a Beast Earth monster and it's 2300. So, pretty interesting start. This can be used to ritual summon any Earth monster. So it's a card for all Earth rituals, basically. I don't know many Earth rituals actually, except the one we just saw, so it might be just for that card. And this is our first Psychic card that we're seeing. In Duel Links, it's always been mentioned that there's no Psychic cards, and this is one of the first ones, so we'll see. 2300 attack, 1 sacrifice monster. Jeez. You can put this monster destroyed by battle instead of sending. Oh my gosh, this is gonna hurt you really bad if you use it, so we'll see. And back to our original monster and baby Ceratosaurus. It's interesting. Dinosaur. Oh my gosh. Let's see what else we got. Another ritual monster. Another second. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can pay 800 life points, add 1 psychic type from the deck to your hand. So this is really good for bringing out psychic monster. Basically, it's a draw mechanic for psychic decks, and it looks pretty good. I definitely like it. I wasn't really able to see how good psychic cards are right now, but they seem like they're pretty good. A ritual summon for the lion. Option hunter activate. Okay. Cool. Genetic woman. So this is another psychic monster, and this is a 4-cost wind psychic monster. And its attack is 1700, which is really good stats for a no tribute monster. And it has the ability to bring back stuff from your remove from play option, which could be pretty useful, I feel. But the cost of 1,000 is pretty pricey. So it looks like we're gonna get something good right here. And he came out to weapon chain, ESP amplifier. Psychic monster synergy again. Fusion substitute. This is a really great card. So basically, it's like an upgraded polymerization, which, you know, power creep is coming really fast. But basically, you fusion from your extra deck. So you can get a fusion summon, you can banish this card from the graveyard, then target a fusion monster from the graveyard and return it to the extra decks, then you get to draw 1 card. Basically, this is going to make fusion decks more powerful, and I got a glossy version of it. So basically, it's like polymerization, except that it has an effect while in the graveyard, meaning you can use it in the graveyard, return your fusion monster. That means you can recycle your fusion monsters, and then you also get a draw from it. So way better than polymerization, and honestly, it will be like a new staple to a lot of the like double dragon farm decks that there are. And yeah, I could totally see including this. I'm actually very excited that that's one of my first ones, so we're gonna keep going and see what we get. Let's do another 10 packs. Here we go again. So this card is very interesting because it uses 2 Gemini monsters as its requirement. It's just general, and basically when it's on the field, all Gemini monsters are treated as effect monsters. So this is really going to push Gemini fusion decks together, I feel. And it's going to be really powerful for those decks, and I can see Gemini just becoming a new meta card, a meta type of deck. So we'll see how that goes. So let's keep going. And this is another card that I could see being really good, because if you're using Cerberus and you have multiple out, or at least one more, your Cerberus gains 800 attack, which is really good. So very good farm card. Cannot be normal summon. It's pretty good, card breaker. Alrighty. Your opponent shuffles the entire hand into the deck, then draws the same number of cards. So if you feel like your opponent has like a game-winning hand, then you could just mess him up really badly. But I think it's a very costly, a card that requires a lot to not do as much. Then you can use 1 Gather Your Mind per turn. Interesting. Gather to Mind. Add 1 Gather a Mind card from your deck to your hand. Basically, this card, Gather to Mind, is going to be really good for Cerberus, just because you can use it, get 1 back, and then use it and get 1 back. So it can only be done once per turn, but very good for Cerberus farm. And we look. All monsters you control gain 300 attack during your turn only. All monsters you control gain 300 defense during your opponent's turn only. So basically this is an upgrade, a field spell that will work like, you know, all those buffing cards, but pretty good card. And for decks that don't have field spells already put into them, it could really help those out. So Sorceress Spell Wall, pretty good secret rare. I feel we're getting a little bit luckier on these, and I'm going to try to keep going through these a little bit faster now that we're getting repeats. Send 1 card from the deck to the graveyard with the same name with select. Seal the Wickedness. Once per turn during your opponent's step, I select 1 face up. So basically you can negate 1 card entirely, card effects, so it could be trap, different cards on the field, and you can negate it for that turn, and it has to be face up. So interesting card, and you have to keep paying for it or else this card goes away. So for field spells and stuff, that card is very useful. And we have an insect ritual monster, which is cool. Ring of Magnetism again. Ducker Mobile Cannon. Target 1 level 4 monster in your graveyard, add that target. So it basically brings back a level 4 monster to your hand, which is not a bad thing. And it's a machine type, and it's 500. And I believe there's a card that synergizes with 500 stat monsters, but we'll see how this card does. Okay. Destroy this card during your second night. Interesting effect. Click 1 to activate this. Destroy the selected card and send 2 cards from the top of your opponent's deck to the graveyard. Pretty interesting. A lot of these cards are like, they will require more time to really process how good they are. Molten Zombie, I remember, has a really cool effect. So when this card gets special summoned from the graveyard, draw 1 card. So it has its benefit. I feel like special summoning from the graveyard is going to become a more important thing. Another Gather to Mind right here, so another Cerberus, and another Babysaurus. Alright, Karibos. Return it to the owner's hand during the end phase. Okay. Another Gather to Mind, so we're all set with that. Dragonic Knight. When an effective monster is activated, target and destroys a card, you can send the target to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. So this card is basically the counter that people try to clear your opponent's monster, an effect that targets. So He could be really good, but I see it's a little bit too situational, but if he can make that work, that's really great. Gain 3,000 life points and your face up is removed. Take 3,000 life points. I'm not sure. Boar Soldier, his effect, he's a 2,000 beater. 4-star, 2,000 beater. But his negative is that he needs to be flip summoned, or else he's destroyed if he's normal summoned. So overall, his attack is basically 1,000, and it's really hard to summon him, it looks like. Another farm card right there, Cthulian. Okay, straight. When this card is sent to the graveyard, both players gain. So, interesting effect in being able to heal. And it's a fiend, so it has a lot of synergy right now. Psychic monster would be destroyed. You can pay 1 to destroy this card. So this is a psychic monster that defends other psychic monsters on the field, and it has 1700, so telekinetic shocker is going to be really good for psychic decks. Its stats are really good, and I can see it just being something great. Target 5 cards in the graveyard, except for shuffle all 5 cards to the deck and draw 1 card. So this adds more cards back to your deck. Usually that'd be a bad thing, having like filling up your deck, but it looks like Duel Links is moving towards a meta where being able to cycle from your graveyard is going to be really important. So overall, that was pretty good. No ultra rares yet, which is very interesting. I've seen some people that get ultra rares like on their first one, so we're going into the last 10. So you can inflict battle damage to your opponent. You can select 2 monsters in the opponent. Interesting, removing from play, getting rid of the graveyard right there. So this is the ritual summon for the beetle that we saw. Gemini Booster, another card that will help out Geminis a lot. I remember reading about this. So it basically gains 700 attack, and it adds it to a monster. When this card is destroyed while equipped, send it to the graveyard. Select 1 face-up Gemini monster and treat it as an effect monster. So it's another card that synergizes with Geminis, and it's like an upgraded, basically, reinforcements, because it gives you 700 attack, and it has a secondary effect that could help a Gemini deck a lot. I really feel I'm gonna start building my own Gemini deck, and this looks like a good card. Domino effect, interesting. Charge of Lattice. Double summon. This is one of the best cards right now, and what people are saying is a staple now. Like from now on, this card will be a staple to decks, and it's a staple to Gemini decks specifically because you can conduct 2 normal summons or sets, not just 1. So when this is played, basically you can flood the field with monsters and summon 2. So you can just summon a regular summon and then tribute summon right away, which is going to be pretty cool. And it's basically you need to have 2 of these now in your deck. So especially if you're playing Gemini, getting to summon 2 monsters and the next turn being able to use their effects is going to be really powerful, I feel. And I'm glad I got that because I'm planning to make a Gemini deck pretty soon. Okay, Hard Selling Goblin, pretty good card. Ring of Magnetism, another one. Zeta Return. Interesting. It's a fairy dart, and we're gonna keep going and seeing what we do. Like I said, a lot of these cards will change in time, and probably some of these cards I'm skipping over are gonna be the meta-defining cards. Like I said, I'm not an expert at these things, but I try to give my best insight. The battle. Interesting. Big Koala, that's good. That's one of the fusion materials for that Big Koala fusion monster we saw, so this might be seen a lot more frequently than you think. Its stats are not, like, summoning for that much is not worth it, but with the fusion, and fusion's being used a lot for farming right now, as well as farming the regular duelist, and then also farming the legendary duelists to get higher points. So it's a good thing we locked in one of the koalas early. And we got our third Gather to Mine. Continuous trap cards. This probably won't see that much unless continuous trap cards become the new staple. And we got another like staple card for psychic decks. See what else we got. Extinction to Schedule. This puts a countdown timer basically. Seismatic Shockwave. This is a dinosaur synergy card. Interesting. And like I said, I don't get very lucky with these packs. Like usually all my cards are at the very bottom. You can special summon this card from. Pretty good. Okay, let's go. Foolish Return again. Extinction Schedule. Puppet King. Warrior Earth. When your opponent adds a monster card to their hand, you can special summon this card. Adds a monster card to. So this card is the counter to all the cards that, like, when it dies, you bring back a specific type of monster to your hand. So this is basically the counter. You can special summon this card from your hand if you do destroy it the next turn's end phase. So this could actually be very good, and it's deceptively good because your opponent might be trying to draw out of their deck using, like, you know, the different draw mechanics that there are. And when it happens, you'll get surprised by a really hard 2800 monster, and it doesn't die right away. It just gets special summoned during the next turn's end phase, so you can still attack with it, which is really powerful. So don't really cross that guy out. He's gonna be probably seen a lot. And another Maju Gorset. Gorset, like I said, really good for farming. And let's see what else we get. Dragon Roar, Banish, Light of Redemption. Another Pumpkin King, which is good for me because I really wanted at least 2 of those. So that's what we have right now so far. And those were 30, but I still have a few more packs, so I'm gonna finish it off with 7 packs right now. So we're gonna open 37. such a bonus, right? And we have gotten no secret rares, which is a little bit sad. Psychic Monster right here, 5 cost. Wow, that's actually pretty good for a normal type monster to you. But it only happens when it's special summoned, so maybe not as good. Spell Absorption. Each time a spell is activated, gain 500 life points immediately after it resolves, so this card can actually see a lot of play, I feel, in stall decks, being able to just raise your life points. And it might be even good for farming too, because gaining 500 for every spell is not something to laugh at. Okay. Oh, Skelesaur, yes! Skelesaur is good because it's a zombie monster and it's also Gemini. So there's a, I believe it's a Goblin, a Ghoul, I forget, I'll post it right here. But this card is going to be pretty much used for that. It's going to bring this back because it has less than 1500 attack. And this is the beginning of the zombie meta, I feel. Like, this card, 1700 stats, pretty good defense. And it's a Gemini, so it can have double effects. And it has the ability to steal your opponent's monsters, which is pretty crazy. If it kills a monster, it brings it back to your side of the field. And we'll see how this card does, but at a rare cost, this card is amazing. Alright, we got the little wink. Let's see what we get. And we got him. So hopefully that's a good sign. Oh yeah, we got another secret rare. This card is treated as a normal monster while face up on the field. It's another Gemini card. It's a Gemini Dragon. You can send one face up. Oh my god. So by sending one face up spell or trap card you control to the graveyard, you destroy. So it has a clearing effect to it, but the problem is trying to summon this to the field. So we'll see how this does. 3, 4. But with double cards like double summon, Like, it's a lot easier to summon monsters, and that makes me really excited. So Darkstorm Dragon, though the cost may be heavy for it, it may not be as bad as it used to be to have a double summon monster in your deck. You can see their effects. Okay, cool, card shuffle. Minefield Driller. When this card you control leaves the field and still in your possession, you can target one fiend field spell card from your graveyard, add that target to your hand. So this brings field spell cards to your hand. It has a very unique, when this face-up card you control leaves the field and is still in your possession, you can target one field. Interesting, huh? I will need to play around with it to see exactly what that means. But if it brings a field spell card to your hand, it's in your graveyard and you target it and bring it back to your hand. So if someone destroys a key field card, like I believe Harpy's Hunting Ground, this can bring it back, and I could see them using it. Some decks rely on their field cards so much that that card can actually see a lot of play if it's used correctly. Another psychic monster here. I think we already looked at that one. Next to be lost, Dr. Cranium, and I got another one of this, which is gonna be pretty good, I feel. And we're getting really close to the end here. That's a cute puppy. Into deck. So this card keeps cycling itself back into the deck. That's pretty interesting. Meaning you'll never deck out, technically? Yeah, basically this card says you'll never deck out because this card will always be in your deck, and then when it's sent to the graveyard, you just place it, draw it back, place it, draw it back. Pretty cool card. Take out the two of you removed from the psychic, add them to your hand. Well, Psychic-Path's gonna be pretty good with all these psychic monsters right now. So that was pretty much it, guys. I looked over 37 cards right now, and unfortunately no secret rares. Man, I'm just, like I said, I'm really unlucky with opening packs, but I do hope to release a video really explaining to you guys the top cards from this pack. I already got one of them, Double Summon, which is probably tier 1 of this whole pack. And yeah, hopefully I'll get that out to you guys soon. And anyways, that ends it for this video. Take care, and I'll see you guys all next time!